Barriers to Employment, Part 3, Case Study. In November 2025, Assist made a film of disabled and neurodivergent people talking about barriers to employment. This was shared at the Staffordshire Disability and Neurodivergence Partnership Board. The full version of the film is 38 minutes long. We have re-edited the footage into 3 shorter themed videos. This is Part 3, a case study with Floss. In this case study, Floss talks about her experiences in both Hampshire and Staffordshire as an apprentice healthcare assistant and most recently in a care home.
So I decided I'm not going to work in retail again, ever again, and I decided to move on to care. Now, I really enjoyed doing mealtime volunteering at at the hospital, at Royal County Hampshire Hospital, and so I was really enjoying it there. I was helping people who couldn't really help themselves, whether they had learning disabilities, autism, because I felt like dementia because I had experience, but it was like I know what it is like not to be heard or listened to just because I had so many problems through school and college. And so, I did my best with them, and it was nice because I could, we could communicate and just having a little bit of compassion, getting them to eat a little bit, and them just even like holding their hand or just like a kind word. So I really enjoyed doing that. So I signed up onto the apprenticeship. So I became a healthcare assistant apprentice. I was working with different sorts of people in different wards. We even had like a COVID ward, so you had to be completely scrubs, masks, face mask, everything. And it was still really enjoyable because you would make somebody smile even though they were very, very, very sick. And again, with like the learning disabilities and in doing things with them, it was just so much fun. It was just so lovely. And then the apprenticeship collapsed. We don't know what happened, but suddenly loads of people didn't want to do it anymore, and that was it. So that kind of fell to pieces. So then I went on to agency, which was manageable because it was, again, learning disabilities, autism. So I was an agency for independent living. So I was helping people out and about in the community, at home with like their cooking, and not necessarily personal care because they were able to do that themselves for the most part. But it was fine. And then my grandfather passed away, and that was kind of a shock for me because it was very sudden. So I took a couple of weeks off bereavement leave, and I came back and I got no more work. I just got no more work. So the interview processes were fine, and then I started, and I started with a couple of other people, and it was really great. It was working with the team, being new, not being able to use any of the equipment, which was fine because we didn't get trained, and I just started like noticing little different things. Like I had to sit down a lot more because of my palsy, that's what I like to call it. My palsy, I was getting tired a lot more quicker, and it was a new environment for me because I was going to like 5 hours every so often at my old place to 12 hours shifts 3 days a week. So I sat down and my manager was like, you all right? And I said, yeah, it's unfortunately because of my disability. And he was like, your disability? And I was like, yeah, I've got cerebral palsy and I'm also autistic. But they then went back and then just decided to cut one of my shifts down, which I was fine with. I agreed to it. So I had my supervision, 2 long days, 1 short day. And then in my next supervision, which was about 2 weeks later, it was 2 short days, 1 long day. And I was getting into the rhythm of things. I'd been trained to use the machinery. I was getting a lot more confidence. I didn't have very much confidence when I first started because of different things. So it was quite, it was nice. I was having a bit of issues with some of the carers who weren't very sympathetic or understanding, I had no idea why they were in the role, because care, compassion, having fun, That's what you're there to do. Call into a meeting. We feel you're not achieving for the role. We can't cut down your hours anymore with your contract. We can't support you because we've got new staff coming in. We've got X amount of residents. So in basic terms, they said they couldn't support me doing the carer role, which I was just, that's all. I had no words, because I kept asking for feedback in my supervisions. I got upset, and I just had a complete, I went into shutdown mode. I was really distressed because I had no idea it was coming, because I had admitted that in my supervisions that I was struggling a little bit, but with the confidence, but I was building myself up. I was getting a lot more, enjoying it more. The staff members were really helping me. I was finding my place, and then so for the last 3 weeks I've been a housekeeper, and that's now starting to impact on my physical health. It's always been my left leg that's been a real difficulty, but my right one's been really sore as well now. So I'm having to try and find another avenue, because I really appreciate them giving me a different role, but it's not working out for me, and I've given it a month and it's just not working for me. And it has been really difficult accepting that I can't do certain things like care. I'm not physically able to do it. I'm not physically able to do things, and it isn't because it's too much work. It's because it is starting to impact my physical and my now mental well-being, because I'm happy to work. I'm always happy to work, but I need to know my own limitations, and sometimes I ignore them limitations and I push myself too far. So, and that unfortunately then leads to injuries, because I'm tired of being picked on in workplaces. I'm tired of being moved around like a unused piece of jigsaw that I just don't fit in. Because I do fit in, I can fit in. You just got to give me a chance. But a lot of people don't want to. They don't want the hassle. So it can be very difficult, because you think you're doing okay, and then it turns out you're not, or you're not meeting the same as everybody else. Because that's what I kept being told as well. Well, so and so are different to you. They're different to you, and it's like, I know I'm different to them. You keep telling me that, and I think there is just a very weird thing going on there. I think they are just looking for people who can do the job and nothing else. And they're like, oh, well, you're a really compassionate and caring person, and you have all the values that we're looking for. You're just not able to succeed the role. It's like, I think if they knew, I think if the HR did their job, I don't think I would have gotten the job, but it would have been disguised as something else. Because I think if they had hired me, and then, they would have then been like, right, reasonable adjustments, we can do that, we can do this, we can do that, instead of, no, we can't support you anymore. So it is very difficult. And it's not because I failed, and it's not because I'm letting my autism get the best of me and making it about my disabilities. This is what really annoyed me as well, is that I never let my disability define me, but this job is making it about my disability and what I can't do rather than what I can do. And that's another thing. It's people can do anything they put their mind to, and if they can't, just give them a bit of time and adjustment, and they will do in the end. But we can do things if we are capable of doing things. It's like a flower, you've got to let it grow, and be with opportunities, with learning, loads of different things. So it's just, don't let anybody define people by their disabilities. Give them chances, give them choices,